ejected.
Yeah, it didn't look intentional, really.
No, that guy's kind of a flailer.
Oh, yeah?
He's
That's
always
what Brian
trying to...
said, that he's like a dirty player.
He's a flopper.
He flops and he trips and he's always trying to do those little things that similar to what Draymond Green was doing.
So they were both flopping.
No.
I mean, one was flopping.
We were watching the game last night, and randomly our TV just shut off. No other lights in the house flickered, like nothing else.
Oh, good for you.
What I'm saying is that when we finally got the TV back on, it was in the middle of this brawl where there's like a big huddle of people, and we're like, what the hell? It was like 20 seconds that we were out, and that was the part that we missed.
Maybe you bought an old television with a V chip in it from the early 90s, and it shut off because it knew there's a delay there, but it was pre-delay, and it knew that fight was going to be there, and it shut off your television in preparation for that.
Do you think that's what it was, Mary?
It's a 4K flat screen
From the
smart
90s.
TV.
Yeah,
So
it does.
probably
Yes,
not.
it's so smart that it turned itself off before that fight could be enjoyed by you. Anyway, Cavs hit the road for a couple of games. Sunday, they'll be in Indianapolis to play the Pacers. Monday, they're going to play the Wizards in D.C. And then they'll come back here next week, play the Pistons on Wednesday. Then they go to New Orleans. And then the Chicago Bulls will be in town, a game that it turns out I'm going to miss. But it's all for the greater good. Are the Bulls coming Nope, that's the last time they're going to be here. Anywho, maybe I'll flip the script and go see a Bulls game when the Cavaliers are at the United Center. I wonder when that's going to be.
There you go.
Will the Cavaliers go to play Chicago there anytime the remainder of the season? They will not. Okay, well, fine. The things we do for our children. Anyway, Cavs, Pacers. That'll be Sunday here on WMMS. That's a 5 o'clock tip-off. So 4:30 is when the pregame will begin. Alan, you were talking about bands nominated in the Rock Hall. What about all of the new who can't this talk to text with some of these? I think they're saying the bands that are eligible, but they can't nominate everybody who's eligible, because what they did is, if you've paid close attention, is that the Rock Hall changed the eligibility requirements this year. I'm not quite sure why they did that. That's why this is such a contemporary class of nominees, because it used to be that your first release had to be 25 years old. And now I think it just had to be out by 97. So that's why the White Stripes, because White Stripes didn't drop anything until 98, I don't think. So that's why Missy Elliott and the White Stripes are both on that list of nominees. I'm not sure why they did that, but that's what they did. But yeah, under that, there are a whole bunch of bands who are newly eligible but weren't nominated.
A lot of bands getting snubbed, too. I mean, we got no Gin Blossoms, no Collective Soul.
Mm-hmm.
No Dishwalla.
Yeah.
Chumbawamba. Evanescence.
Snubbed again.
Yeah. Evanescence, they're eligible.
Are they eligible now?
Yeah, well, because they kind of moved the chains a little bit there. Yeah,
right.
System of a Down, Limp Bizkit. Listen, with all due respect, Limp Bizkit will never be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You don't never say never.
They will be, however, one of your headliners for Incarceration 2023.
They had a lot of hits, and they were pretty,
They did have a lot of hits, right? I'm just trolling the fans. But, Amy Lee and Evanescence and Queens of the Stone Age, they could be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know. You think Creed and Korn will ever be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Tenacious D.
All right, now you're just being ridiculous.
Third Eye Blind. Rob Zombie. I'd personally like to see Seven Dust in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know how likely any of these kinds of bands are, because there are so many older bands that still aren't in. They're not going to go, sorry, King Crimson, we're putting Hoobastank in. You know, the guys that made an album called They Sure Don't Make Basketball Shorts Like They Used to? That Hoobastank.
Can't
You
wait.
think Smash
reason
Mouth
is,
will
you
go
know,
into the Rock and Roll?
You know
Real
what?
Big Fish?
They should. Real Big Fish. Put them in.
More like Real Big Fail. Am I right?
Oh, God.
Oh, hey. You watch your mouth.
What, Cody?
Can't wait till Paramore goes in like 2000.
I hope you can because you'll be waiting a long, long
Paramore
time.
will definitely.
They
go
put
in.
a Paramore in every year. They've never just put one person in.
the band Paramore.
Right, the band Paramore.
Oh, not a pair or more.
Jesus.
Sinkin' Carpet Expo or whatever the
Oh.
idea was yesterday.
Alan, what rock have you been living under that you didn't know who Two Turnt Tony is?
He's not on TikTok like that.
I'm not on. No, I got a life to lead, man. Come on. I mean,
But that's the thing. And, like, you have to understand, there can be people that are that wildly famous. I heard of him
I
for the
don't
first
know
time,
who they-
too. Like, I didn't
right.
know who he was.
yeah.
Because everything's so specific to what you consume. If like I'm on TikTok a lot, and I've never seen that dude before because I don't engage with videos that a guy like that would make.
I still
Well, I had a heavy phase when I first got on TikTok where I was pretty much just following dudes dancing shirtless. So I was like going through and like, so that was what my For You page was, mostly like
Listen,
ripped
that's-
shirtless guys.
I
And that's
found-
where he came up.
I had
found
my
his
phase
OnlyFans.
like that too, but it just was before Tony was on it.
Oh, ripped shirtless.
yeah, of course, yeah. I'm always looking for
There's another
Big Billy's
guy.
bottom boys.
Yeah, there you go. There's another guy on there who's like a Channing Tatum lookalike, and he's like a Magic Mike dancer, and he's like 5'1", and I was like, what? He's so little, but he's like what we described, where he's like got that perfect body, and he's a really really good dancer, and he literally looks exactly like Channing Tatum, only a full
Just a
foot
little
shorter.
version.
Yeah.
When
Have you
were-
ever met a little kid named Channing?
No.
That's one of those names. I'm surprised. You know how like
Didn't
dim
take
people
off.
are. Yeah, they go, oh, there's a pop culture name. I like that. You don't. A lot of Mariahs that were born early mid '90s. You don't meet a lot of little Channings running around. Surprised. If you want to leave us messages on the After Hours line, you can do it there anytime you like. It's 216-986-8903.
Alan, hate the show. Has there ever been a show that Mary's been on that she hasn't had to sneeze into the microphone at least 4 times? Just wondering.
Am I sneezing into the microphone? I've been sneezing, but I've been trying to do
There are
it
plenty
like,
of shows. There was December 5th, 2021.
Well, she didn't do it Monday.
Didn't
Is
do it
any
Monday.
days I'm not here.
Okay, well,
There
those days.
was May 7th, 2020.
Mhm.
There was August 28th of last year.
Sure. I remember
And
that day.
there was a 3-day stretch in June of 2020. All of those. Smart guy.
I'm getting over a sickness.
Yeah! Wah!
Come on, getting over the sickness.
Alan, please remind Mary that she lost the Polar Blast when she replaced Erica her first year in the Polar Blast.
I was not on the show. I was still only filling in.
But that's not.
It wasn't my
question.
team. It wasn't my team. It was Barry White's team. It was not Mary
But you
Santora's
lost.
team. But I was not a team
You
captain.
competed. That's not what we said. You said undefeated in the Polar Blast.
I am undefeated as a part of the show. Yeah.
You didn't specify that.
Well, that's how it is. It doesn't count if I lose if I'm not the captain of the team.
But you were on the team. But you were the de facto captain.
No,
of
I
the
wasn't.
team.
It was Barry. It was not Mary Santora's team. It was Barry White's team, and you guys put me on his
Why
team.
didn't we call it Barry Santora?
I don't know.
But Poundcake,
I don't remember that. So I'll,
Poundcake shares a team with Barry White, and he's
Yeah.
still a captain.
This was Barry White's team. The fourth team, Barry White
but
was
it
the
would have been
captain.
Erica's team, and so
Right.
you were the fill-in for Erica.
But I wasn't
think
even
you lost.
filling in
I think you lost.
regularly
I think you lost.
at that point.
Mm.
You know what? Whatever.
I don't know. I might have to.
I think it's a distinction without a difference.
I'm undefeated as a team captain.
I don't know. I think I might have to back Mary up on this one because I don't think I competed, but I was a part of.
Look at this. What a shock. He's got to back Mary up.
Well, 'cause I was-
These two are going to London. Now all of a sudden they're thick as thieves.
Forgot about that.
I know. Get on it, Mary. Buy your ticket.
Sorry.
And my ticket too.
No, you know how
Buy
I
your
feel
ticket
about
and my ticket too.
other
my-
people paying for your trips.
Put it on your credit card. You get the points, and then I'll pay you back.
24% interest on Cody's trip. No,
Right.
No, thank you.
Just charge them 24% interest.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I've been trying to sneeze and cough off of the microphone.
Well, and that's what I tell people too. Don't you guys have cough buttons? Yes, but you'll still hear it in the room.
Yeah.
If I turn my microphone off, you'll still hear me in
Right.
the room.
Right.
A cough button is for like a booth where you're the only one in it,
Right.
not a room like this.
Where there's 4 active
Right.
microphones. Yeah.
That's right.
And sometimes you can't really get to the cough in time. The cough button.
You did send me this story, by the way. We have some bureau chiefs in Des Moines, Iowa. Evan is there.
Hey.
Steve. There's Kelly.
I'm
got a show coming
headlining
up.
the Des Moines Funny Bone.
Hey, when's that?
That is April 27th.
April 27th.
But yes, I did send you this
All right,
story.
caller. That'll be a day that she won't cough on the air. April 27th,
Look forward to it.
2023. Not far from downtown Des Moines is a town called, it's like Underhill or something.
Mhm.
And this is another one of those stories that when I read it, I assume it's in Pakistan or India
Yeah.
or, you know, one of these countries where somebody dies and they just throw them in the ground, whatever. This was in Iowa. An Alzheimer's special care center where they pronounced a woman dead and got her all the way to the funeral home and in a body bag until before she woke up. I don't know how you mistakenly pronounce someone dead,
Dude.
You're not good at your job.
Having
Having a bad day at your job.
The
but all
nurse-
you feel for a pulse. I mean, this wasn't like a 90-year-old woman. She was 66.
Yeah.
And now they're facing like tons and tons of fines. She had been moved into hospice care because she was in really, really bad way. And they were like, oh, you could barely hear her breathing. And they pronounced her dead at 6 a.m. It was just last month when the person in charge of her didn't feel a pulse, said she wasn't breathing. They called the family. They called the funeral home. Now, again, I don't know anything about posthumous reflexes or how long it might take to somebody to draw a breath, but I would think you'd notice a woman was breathing or not breathing.
Well, that's the nurse said that they didn't see her breathing. They didn't see her breathing and
What, a
didn't
mirror
feel
under her
pulse.
nose?
A pulse.
They placed her in a body bag, which was zipped shut.
She's a vampire.
And then they heard her screaming inside the body bag when they got it
Man.
to the funeral home and crematory.
How much poop would be in your pants?
Dude, if you woke up in a body bag,
Well, like if you want one thing to wake up in a body bag.
oh, you're
but
saying
another
as
thing,
the funeral director?
Yeah, if you're the funeral director and all of a sudden one of your bodies, like you're like, oh, I hate when this happens. Like, no, that happens one time.
Yeah.
Or like you think that it's a night terror. Like you hear the screams of the dead, but then this one's actually real.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Dude, this seems like a scary movie, like the plot to a scary movie.
Yeah.
Woke Up in a Body
Well,
Bag has to be a Cannibal Corpse song. That's got to be somewhere in their discography.
What was that movie? I think it was with Christina Ricci, where she like was. They're like performing surgery on her, but they thought she was like sedated, but she could feel everything. I don't know if it was her though.
Well, there was a movie where Hayden Christensen was awake, but they couldn't.
Maybe
he was
that's what it was.
sedated or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that
I
movie
thought it was
is.
a lady.
The craziest part about this story for me was that after they found out
She
she
had a
was
chance
alive,
to get out of Iowa.
well, I know, right? That after they found out she was alive, they sent her back to that same care center.
Yeah.
I was like, the place that mistook you as dead and put you in a body bag, they sent you back there? Like that was the part where I was like, if that was my mom, I'd be like, just send her to my house. She can die on
I was
my
gonna
couch.
say I'm terrified to do stuff like that, man.
To do stuff like what?
Send someone back to a home after they've been mistreated.
Right.
Like I would feel bad. I'm like, might as well just be in my house. I'll have a separate wing for her, and maybe I'll just have like a private physician to watch them, and they have to wear a body cam the whole time.
Yeah, it's super cheap. Separate wing,
Body
personal
cam.
I know.
hospice person there. Yeah, very, very inexpensive. Be able to swing that.
Yeah.
That's why people they have to put people in places.
I get
Can't
it,
have him
but
at home.
still.
Mhm.
They're like, you guys gonna make sure this time? She died like 2 days later.
Right.
But still, I feel like that would be the last place I'd want to put her. Would you send your mom back to the home? To those people?
I don't think so. No.
That's, I don't know, man. Unless they just didn't care. That they're like,
Yeah, they're
listen,
like,
she's in the home to begin with.
Yeah, we know. We're just trying to run
We
out the
live out
clock
of
on this.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, what would they have done if they sent her to another one? She dies 2 days later anyway. Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to find a new home in that amount of time. And you can sue.
Oh, you can't sue.
I just thought that story was funny, Alan, because you're always killing people or saying people are dead when they're not. And then
Yes.
this person actually did it in real life.
That's right. Yeah, so she is she's now dead for realsies. And they the funeral home called 911 when they heard the woman gasping for air inside the body bag. But there was no eye movement and there was no verbal response. And she died a couple of days later. But that's when what do? Everybody wants to sue people now. But she's dead. And
Well, her family could sue.
yeah, I think people sue too because funerals are so friggin' expensive. They're like, hey, if we can get them to pay for this,
Right.
we should get them to pay for this.
Alan, I was listening to the podcast from yesterday, and you guys were talking about what you care about, what this guy cares about, what that guy cares about and doesn't care about. And I just want you to know that the only thing I care about is that you are once divorced and a broken man.
Yeah. I'm with you, homie.
That guy summed it up perfectly.
We haven't heard from Political Joe in some time. I hope that he's okay. For a while, he was calling pretty frequently. I say something and he didn't like, and he'd leave a voicemail with the quickness.
Maybe he agrees with you now.
You think? I think I changed his mind. He sounded like a guy that with a
He's seen the
open
light.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw the light, all right. Huh. Well, that doesn't change the fact that I am once divorced. He was not incorrect about that. Absolutely.
Are you broken?
Well, again, that I don't think so, but I guess it depends on who you talk to. But we haven't heard from him in a while.
I'm broke. I ain't broken. But
I got it. Alan, look up Lazarus syndrome. It's when you come back to life.
Well, that's what I was wondering is what actually, because the article didn't say what actually happened to her. If she was just breathing at 2 breaths per minute or.
bitch is an iguana.
Yeah.
Well, bitch is an iguana, he said.
That's what, lizards can like appear dead. It's like a defense mechanism, right? They appear dead and they can be dead for like 48 hours and then they go about their life as normal.
I know possums play dead.
After prey is gone.
Yeah. Well, the care facility is being sued by the state for like $10,000 or something like that. I don't know what the hell that does, but because obviously they've violated something. Speaking of iguanas, did you see the video of the guy who was doing outdoor yoga in Florida and an iguana falls out of a tree because it was so cold? You know, in Florida, they have to tell people, hey, these fall out of trees when it gets really cold, the iguanas.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because their body, they stop moving.
They die.
Well, they don't die. They conserve their body heat or whatever.
Mhm.
And so they just become inert. And if they're in a tree and they're that way for too long, they just fall out of the tree until they can warm up. There are like animal services in Florida that'll go around. Their whole business is, getting iguanas out of people. But there was an outdoor yoga class and one fell on a dude, like broke his rib and because those things are like those are heavy animals. It falls out of a tree on top of you.
Ugh. I would scream.
Oh, like the big iguanas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a gecko.
Me too. I was thinking like a small
Like a
little
salamander?
Yeah.
No. He's like, oh,
iguanas
no,
are-
like
Those
a big.
cute little ones you see running all over the place.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I was
those aren't
thinking.
iguanas.
No,
those
you
are
mean like
salamanders.
the
the
ones you see
iguana.
at
Yeah.
the zoo.
Like a
'cause we-
Gila monster or something.
When we were in Orlando, we camped out at Fort Wilderness to be to go to Disney World, and those lizards are everywhere. So I was thinking like, yeah, those little small things falling. I'm like, oh, that's no big deal. You'll feel like a little tap, but it'll fall to the ground. If we're talking about like iguanas, that'll take somebody out if it falls the wrong way.
Yeah, he got really hurt. They had to take him to the hospital and the whole bit.
Ouch.
Did you like Fort Wilderness when you went? Did you sing along with Chip and Dale and all that?
There was a night that we went out, or we didn't go out, but we saw like the little shows there on Fort Wilderness. It was okay. I much rather would have stayed in like a resort just because the campsite is away from everything.
I thought it was a resort.
But you bring your own mobile home. I'm a hotel type
Oh,
of guy.
you do?
Yeah, we brought
Oh,
our.
it's like a campground.
Yes, Fort Wilderness.
Oh. Yeah, but I thought it was also a resort.
No,
Oh.
I mean it's a camp. It's a very extensive campsite. Like they have very nice bathrooms, and they have a mess hall. If
So
you
it's
want one.
glamping.
Yeah, but you just bring your own RV, and we met people from all over the world there. But I still would like a hotel. I'm a hotel type of guy.
I got you. How old were you?
Like 14.
So you couldn't even drive the RV. Your mom drive the RV?
My uncle did, but I could. That was when I got sick and backed up because I couldn't poop. I
Oh,
couldn't-
you didn't back up the RV. You were backed up.
I was backed up. I couldn't poop on the RV, and they were like, "Nope, no number 2. You got to go to the very nice
yeah,
Disney."
that's bus rules, man. That's
Yeah.
RV rules.
It's Disney bathroom, so they weren't. It wasn't like the bathrooms were nasty or anything like that. But I couldn't poop with people around me, and so I would set an alarm. I would wake up at like 2 a.m, and I would go in there and try and poop, and there would always be someone in there showering, and I'm like, okay, I can psych my mind out, and when someone's showering, I can go because they won't hear me. So I was going, and then I would hear, and I'm like, someone's opening the door, and then I would
And
hear
you'd snapshot like a bank vault.
exactly I would hear, and I was like, someone's sitting next to me, and so I would wait until they left, and by that time it would be morning, and then I just would go back to sleep because I couldn't poop.
You can take me, but you cannot take my bunghole.
So I got food poisoning, or not food poisoning, but I got backed up, and I would like throw up all my food, and my uncle thought I was bulimic.
He thought you were bulimic because you vomited one time.
No, it was a couple times.
Oh.
Because he had so much poop in his body.
I didn't poop for
He's
like
like,
10
no,
days.
I'm not bulimic.
When you finally
I
did
just
poop,
didn't
was it
poop.
like just a bowl filler?
Well, my uncle kind of caved. He was like, we're gonna have to go to the emergency room because you can't poop on the RV. I'm like, probably. And he just was like, fine, whatever. Just tell us when you're gonna poop, and then we'll
Yeah, it's not
clear
even
out.
a medical condition. Like you could send yourself to the hospital because you just have a mental block. You can't get
Okay.
your head around. Yeah, but that's like, I'm sure they'd be real happy taking you to the hospital because you can't poop on an
It costs
RV.
thousands of dollars.
Yes. Toilet paper, costs nothing. Go in there and poop.
Dude, I tried. Like, you think I want to get up at 2 a.m. to poop?
Yes, I do.
What? That is so like.
I think you
insensitive
do.
of That's not. Why would I want to be difficult? Like we were eating duck that
Being
whole.
difficult.
No, it wasn't. We were eating duck and I couldn't even eat it. It was like one of the best meals I've ever had, and I I laid on the bathroom floor.
Plus, duck's so oily, you think it would just would have slipped right
Yeah,
out
I know,
of you.
right?
You wouldn't have been